welcome back to Drinking by My Shelf. My name is Emma and this is Book Trail. This is just a little update on how I'm getting on with all the challenges I set myself this year. But of course, I made it into a game because I love games and I love sticking little magnet gemstones onto boards that I've created for myself. I am still an embarrassingly long way from getting to the end of my trail. I had originally thought that I would just do this for a year, but I'm like not even halfway through and it's August by now. So well done me. I'll have to have a think about that. Basically, when I get to the end of my book trail, I get rewarded with a book buying spree that will not be counted against me on balancing the books, and I really want to do that, so let's hope that I get there. In July, I read 11 books. If you want to see what they all were, you can go and watch my Balancing the Books video, which is live now, and I will link to it below. But let's get on with my specific challenges that I set myself at the beginning of this year that I wanted to make sure I stuck to all throughout the year. And so far I've been really bad at it. Especially challenge number 1, which was to do Books and Lala's Buzzword-a-thon. I thought that seemed like a really fun year-long challenge that every month I would try and read amongst my normal reading as many books as I could find that fit the buzzword. But every single month I forget. Literally every single month. You know what right now I'm going to do is write myself a note to actually do it next month. August TBR. Capital letters. Buzzword-a-thon. Bitch. Okay. We'll remember now. The buzzword for July, by the way, was the word last, and of the 11 books that I read, none of them had the word last in them at all. Moving quickly on from that disaster, my second challenge was to read as many of the prompts as I could from the Reading Women challenge. So that has like 24, I think, prompts to encourage you to diversify your reading and read more books by women throughout the year. And I've ticked off a further 2 prompts from the list this month. One was to read a book with a queer love story, and I read this non-fiction story, Virginia Woolf and Vita Sackville West. It's a collection of their love letters and extracts from their diaries. It is all about their queer love for each other, and it was fantastic and beautiful and moving. And, most importantly, I get a gemstone. Let's find a nice purple one for Bi Pride. My 2 beautiful bi ladies. There is also a prompt to read a book by a trans author, and I read Detransition Baby by Tori Peters, who is a trans woman. It was fantastic. I gave it 5 stars. You can watch Balancing the Books for my full review. Learn to speak, Emma. Pale blue would be a good one for trans pride, right? The flag is either pale blue or pale pink, and I don't have any pale pink ones left. Ta-da! My third challenge to myself was to get better at balancing the books, but also actually reducing my TBR. And this month, I smashed it. Ready for spoilers if you haven't seen Balancing the Books yet? I reduced my TBR by 3 books. 3 whole books. I read 3 more books than I hauled that month. That never happens to me. Look at her go. She is beauty. She is grace. My fourth challenge to myself was to read more books in translation. And I talked about this last month. I don't know why I made it so complicated. Next year, when I change these challenges up, I am not going to make it this weird and overly complicated. I'm just going to stick to like numbers of books, but I decided that I wanted to read at least 18% books in translation, because 18% of my 5-star books from last year were books in translation, so I thought, cool, I'll read 18% and I'll get a point for every book over that I read. But it turns out that's really hard to do. But I can tell you I've done well this month because I know I read loads of books in translation. Let's check the list. So of the 11 books that I read in July, 3 of them were translated into English from another language. That percentage is 3 divided by 11 times 100. 27%. That's more than 18. But because I made it so convoluted, I don't really know how many points that means I get. Okay, if I'd only read 2 books in translation, I still would have got 18.2%. So that still would have been over 18%. So I think I get a point for the second book and the third book because both of them pushed me over the 18% mark. I know it's complicated. I have learnt my lesson. This board is looking so much prettier than it did just a few minutes ago. Okay, those are all the challenges that allow me to gain points. So let's have a little look. I am now more than halfway. Sorry, I can't fit my head on screen at the same time as this board. I'm nearly at the end of the 3rd row out of 5. We are more than halfway through the year though, so I'm running behind. I do have a final challenge that I set myself for 2021. This one doesn't give me a chance to win points though. It just gives me a chance to get negative points on this little punishment line here if I don't achieve it, because I thought it was so important that I didn't want to get brownie points for doing something that I should be doing. And that is to be reading more books by authors of colour. I again, weirdly, went with a percentage, but at least this percentage is a bit easier to work out. I said I have to read 25% books by authors of colour every single month, and if I don't, I get a naughty gem. So far I've got one naughty gem. There was 1 month where I didn't read 25%. Other than that, I've been okay. This month, let's do some quick maths. Hippo is making a lot of licking noises. It's a really gross noise. You okay there, babe? Okay, again, of the 11 books that I read in July, 4 of those books were by authors of colour, which is 36%. That is over 25%, so I don't get a punishment for that one. So that is Book Trail. If you want to see all of the progress of how I got to here so far, on the end screen I'm about to link the playlist of all of my Book Trail videos. They're also jumbled in there with my Book Jail videos, which was my original version of this. It was very, very similar. Basically the same thing, I just didn't want to be in book jail because I don't want to be in jail, I wanted to be on a trail. Other than that, it's the same concept. So you can go watch them all. See you in the next video of mine that you click. Make sure you click on another one of me. It helps me if you click another one of me. Okay, bye.